You know that feeling, right? Like you meet a native English speaker and they are just, they're incredibly warm.
Oh, yeah. Smiling, asking about your whole weekend, making total eye contact.
Exactly. And you walk away thinking, wow, we're really connecting. But then you realize you know absolutely nothing about their actual emotional life.
Right. Like zero facts. Just good vibes.
Welcome back to English Unfiltered. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie.
And today we are decoding the hidden rules of English social behavior. Because what you see on the surface in these interactions, it is absolutely not what is happening underneath.
It really isn't. And I mean, for learners, this is arguably the biggest cultural hurdle out there. Because English-speaking cultures, they prioritize this very specific atmosphere of comfort, a positive tone, casual friendliness, and just above all else, social smoothness.
Wait, let me just challenge that for a second. Because if they're just prioritizing social smoothness and, acting warm without actually meaning it, isn't that just fake?
Right. That is the logical assumption to make.
Yeah, it sounds like manipulation, honestly.
But that's the thing. It is not fake at all. The cultural gap here is that friendliness just does not equal intimacy. Like people can sound completely socially open and engaging while remaining entirely emotionally reserved.
Okay, but why though? I mean, it seems exhausting to put on this whole warm show for everyone if you don't actually want to be close to them. Where does that disconnect even come from?
Well, to understand the why, you kind of have to look at the history of these English-speaking cultures. Historically, these have been highly mobile, commerce-driven societies. People moving around constantly, changing cities, changing jobs.
So you were constantly surrounded by total strangers.
Exactly. You had to interact with people you didn't know well just to do business or build communities, or honestly, just get through the day.
Right, that makes sense.
So in that environment, you need a mechanism to build trust really quickly without committing to a lifelong bond. Social smoothness became the ultimate survival tool. The goal is just to create a frictionless environment, make everyone feel good, keep the energy light, and just avoid awkwardness at all costs.
That actually makes so much sense. It's not about tricking anyone. It's a cultural mechanism designed to keep the social gears turning without friction.
Yeah, exactly.
But I can see exactly why this traps a learner. I mean, in so many other cultures, if someone invests that much energy into smiling and asking about your family, they are explicitly signaling, I want to be in your inner circle.
Yes. Learners expect emotional signals to be clear and direct. You step into this interaction, you experience all this warmth, and you just naturally interpret it as a direct invitation for a deeper connection.
Right, because why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Meanwhile, the native speaker is merely following standard social etiquette. They are just executing the baseline politeness of their culture.
It's almost like an optical illusion. You think they left the front door wide open for you, but they actually just painted a really realistic, welcoming picture on a closed door.
Oh my God, yes, that is a perfect way to conceptualize it. You're standing there admiring the painting, totally convinced you're inside.
But you're not.
No. Because emotional closeness in these cultures develops very, very slowly, and it happens almost entirely in private, far, far away from that perfectly painted front door.
This must cause so much frustration in everyday life, not just in making friends, but like in the workplace too.
Oh, it causes absolute chaos. Just imagine having a manager who follows the comfortable atmosphere rule. They might be super encouraging, always saying things like, oh, great job, and I love this idea.
And you walk away thinking you're about to get a massive promotion.
Precisely. But really, they just didn't want to break the social smoothness by delivering harsh criticism directly.
Wait, really? So the negative feedback is just buried under layers of warmth?
Yes. English social dynamics rely heavily on these subtle, almost invisible emotional boundaries. The warmth is just the default setting.
Which brings us to the hidden truth, I guess. The real takeaway here, native speakers might genuinely like you. They probably do.
They definitely do.
But that doesn't mean they will immediately open up their emotional world.
Right, because friendliness and emotional closeness are just entirely separate things. They run on completely different tracks. You can have maximum social friendliness with literally zero emotional intimacy. And once you understand that, it changes everything about how you navigate the language.
You stop feeling rejected when that friendly coworker doesn't invite you to their house for the weekend.
Exactly. You stop waiting for the door to swing open, and you just learn to enjoy the painting. You realize you aren't being shut out. You're just participating in a different kind of social dance, one where surface-level comfort is a sign of respect, not necessarily an invitation to intimacy.
That's so true. Which leaves us with a really fascinating question to ponder. If English speakers use this overt friendliness as a social buffer to keep things smooth, how do you actually know when you've broken through?
That is the real question, isn't it?
Pay close attention the next time a native speaker interacts with you. When they finally drop that upbeat attitude, when they start complaining to you, or when they just show you their stress, that loss of social smoothness might just be the true sign that you've finally made it into their inner circle.